Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chamber Exchange podcast, where ideas turn to impact. I'm super excited because this is our first member spotlight episode, and we have such an amazing guest today. We have Regina Frost with Wagoner Flowers and Gifts joining us. Thank you so much for agreeing
for having me
to be here. Wagoner Flowers and Gifts, when we were sitting in the office and brainstorming members that we would like to spotlight, we were thinking of businesses that had been in Wagoner for a long time and just have such a presence in our community. Mm-hmm. And of course, Wagoner Flowers and Gifts came up.
Yeah.
I think you told me that you all have been in business, well, you as owner, for around, how many years was it?
12. Mm-hmm.
12 years. And Wagoner Flowers and Gifts, over 50.
Yeah.
I think that's such a testament and such an amazing fun fact. I would love to just share a little bit about your story and let our listeners know, how did your flower shop first begin?
Well, I have a friend that's a realtor. So we went to lunch together. We always go to lunch after church on Sundays. And she always decorated. It was Serena. Everybody knows Serena. She always decorated the Civic Center. Mm-hmm. And then wanted to know if I like to decorate and have any ideas or whatever. And I said, oh, yeah, I love to decorate. Well, then you should buy Wagoner Flowers and Gifts. And just out of my mouth comes, well, that used to be my dream.
Yeah.
It was stuff so far that I truly forgot about it. Mm-hmm. So much so that my husband wasn't even aware that I had this ring. So she said, well, I used to be, you should just buy it, And I'm like, okay. So Dwayne and I talked about it and prayed about it.
And that's
here we are 12 years later.
A dream into a reality.
Yes.
I love that. And since that was your dream, what inspired you?
I had done flowers for weddings for friends, for their kids. Mm-hmm. But it was always silks, but just creating beautiful things that,
right.
I love doing that. And I was in charge of women's ministry at my church in Haskell. So I always create wreaths and stuff. And that was door prizes. So I just love creating and, so I had an ex-daughter-in-law that we said at one time we wanted to open a flower shop together. And we were going to call it Best Buds, which, different meaning these days.
Definitely different, yeah.
But, but like I said, I truly forgot about it.
Wow. But I love that you forgot about it and then it comes to fruition.
Yes.
And now you've gotten to do what you love.
Yeah. It's amazing how the Lord will remind you of your dream.
So what services or arrangements does the shop specialize in? Or is there anything in particular that you specialize in?
I think we're very traditional.
Okay.
But I myself, Linda does too. We like the very airy look. But I like more of the wildflower look that you're seeing a lot posted now. So I would love to be able to go to a local farm and be able to buy some unique things that maybe we wouldn't be able to get from our suppliers.
Right.
But again, it goes back to the shop owns you. So, their hours are basically like my hours. And it's hard to get to do that. But,
shout out to local farms.
Yes.
Local farm.
I did have one reach out to me not too long ago. So,
and
I have a little one that called me last year, just out of the blue, and want to know if I'd be interested to look at some of their flowers. So I do buy from a small local farm here in town, but there's also another one that's reached out to me. So I want to be different and unique than what someone else offers.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that having to keep up with trends and things like that can be a lot. Everybody's trying to stay up to date and offer as much as they can. But also, how many employees do you have at the shop?
2. And basically they're just part-time.
2.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's not a lot of employees, but that's a lot of work for only that size of staff.
Yeah.
So
I'm blessed to get to work with my daughter. She works 2 days a week, and then Linda works 3 days a week. So, and then I have another friend, and she used to own her shop in Florida, so she comes in on holidays. And then
great.
I'm blessed with friends from church that volunteer with me, and I have a sister-in-law that volunteers, holidays. So, my mom.
You got everybody involved.
It's a family affair.
I can say the same thing. Growing up with parents that own a small business, it's a family business. It's not it's them, but we get roped in doing side jobs, cleaning, organizing, anything to help carry the load and help support.
Yeah.
So
my dad comes in just being silly because that's who he is. Comes in and says, "You putting on any hands? You need a door greeter?"
Yes. That's great. How has your journey evolved over the years, like from where you started and where you're at now?
Well, after we bought the shop, I kind of went into this little panic mode.
You're the owner.
I'm the owner now. Oh no, I don't know what that plant is. I don't even know what that flower is. What am I doing? You know? But thank goodness, thank the good Lord for Linda. She's amazing. You know, she's been, to a lot of people, she is still Wagoner Flowers. There's still people that call and want to talk to Linda, which I think is great, you know. But she taught me so much, you know. So now I know what the plants are.
She kind of took you under her wing.
Yes.
Kind of led you through that.
You got to watch her create, you know, think, oh, I never would have thought putting those colors together, you know, in an arrangement. And, you know, so just sitting back watching and learning to where now I feel comfortable that I can step in when she's not there and I arrange. Wagoner Flowers has history, so, and they have their faithful customers, you know, and then I've been able to build relationships.
Right.
You know, in the beginning, I said, Linda, remind me their name.
That's great.
It's great building those friendships.
Yeah, I know with new management, new ownership, and things. Sometimes are things going to stay the same? Are they going to change? And customers are probably weary of that.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you've been able to do that successfully and still, you know, run your business and keep people happy, keep people returning.
It's all a learning process, and you know, a lot of, you know, it's the Lord's business. We dedicated it to Him when we bought it, so it's, you know, a lot of praying, a lot of sleepless nights.
What does a typical day look like for you in your shop?
Well, you can come in with a plan. You know, we have this, this, and this to do, or, you know, maybe there's not a lot of tickets on the counter, a lot of orders. So I think, well, we're going to go out on the floor and we're going to, you know, freshen up, rearrange some things. And then the phone will ring and can I get 10 arrangements in 30 minutes or
rushing around?
Yeah. You know, whatever the case may be, or you get a call from the funeral home, this family is coming in, or, you know, a bride calls and can we schedule this consultation? You just never know what your day is going to bring, you know.
Always something new.
Always something new.
It sounds like.
So
I would say it's the same way over the chamber. It's always something new.
People don't realize, they think you're just playing with flowers all day long, which basically we are, but you're dealing with people that's lost loved ones, which can be very hard. And so there's a lot of, it's not just a 9-to-5 job, you know. There's many times we work Sunday, Saturday, 7 days a week, which I never would have believed.
Right.
It's a flower shop, you know. But you know, that's what you do because it's important, you know, when you're saying your last goodbyes, that those flowers are, and it's just like a wedding. If you don't want to remember your wedding and think those flowers were hideous, or say goodbye to your loved one and like the last thing you remember is how, you know, it's just extremely important to us that we try to please get what they truly want that honors their family member.
I love that. I love to hear your heart behind that and just how much thought and consideration you all put into each arrangement. If I was in a similar situation, I was planning for a loved one or celebrating an event, you know, just knowing that my florist has this in their mind just gives you that peace of mind. And that's really great to know that you all are there for all of it, the in-betweens. We're going to pause for just a moment to thank the people who make this work possible, our chamber members. Your support, your involvement, and your commitment to our community are what keep Wagoner moving forward. Whether you're a small business, a nonprofit, a growing team, you're part of the heartbeat of this town. So from all of us at the Wagoner Area Chamber of Commerce, thank you for showing up, for investing in our community, and for being part of this story. All right, let's get back to the conversation. I think that that's a great segue into my next question, which is when people see the beautiful product and the arrangements that you all put together, but there's so much that goes into it and the things that you all do when nobody's watching. What's something that people may not realize about running a flower business?
When I first bought the shop, you know, I'm thinking birthdays and weddings and all the fun things, you know, and the first family that came in that had lost someone, I literally fall apart, you know, and I was no help. So I had to walk away and left Linda's heart. Thankfully, she knew what to do.
She was able to step in.
So she stepped in and, you know, and she took care of them. But you just, you know, I didn't ever think about that part of it, you know, but that is a part of the service that we offer, but it's also my heart. That's part of my ministry is to love on people. But summers are hard. for a flower shop, or I don't, well, that's because that's all I know. People are taking their vacations. They are saving for school clothes. They're saving for school supplies. The last thing on their mind is to come to the flower shop and buy flowers, or, if they're going to buy a gift, they're already in Walmart, so I'll just buy it here. We try to bring in those unique things so to be inspired to come in, but summers can be hard. Am I going to be able to pay the bills this month? God has always provided. He's sustained us. He's taken care of us. Bills are paid. But, in the beginning, it was very scary. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. I can only imagine. I mean, that I wouldn't know that. And I think that that's important for people to know, so that if there's a better way that they can be supporting you and, shopping local while Walmart is still local, if there's a specific product that they need or something more unique, maybe there's another option out there. And so thank you. Thank you for sharing that. What's the most rewarding part of your work? What would you say?
Relationships with my customers.
I love that. I do love that.
Yeah.
And I think that that shines through. Even when we added your post to Facebook and announced that we were going to be bringing you on, just the outpour of support and the shares and likes and comments, that speaks for itself.
Well, it was very touching for me too, to see that. Like, wow, I didn't expect that.
Thank you. Yeah. Do you have any memorable customer moments in your years that you feel like have stuck with you?
I had a customer that had lost her husband, and she came in and was having lunch, because we have a little bistro in the shop, and you could see it all over her. Is all she could do to walk through those doors. And I knew I needed to go say something. I wanted to wrap her up and say this beautiful prayer over her, but all I could do was wrap her up and just say, God bless her. And we just embraced each other. I don't know how long we stood there. It didn't matter to me, because she needed it. So now every time she comes to the door, she comes in with her arms open and I'm ready for my hug. So, relationships like that, that's what it's all about.
You are with people at a very, you have the everyday moments, I'm sure, just preparing things in the shop, but being with people in their happiest moments, but also their hardest moments.
Yeah. Like I had a lady come in this past week and lost her son. And she said, some deaths are sad and some are a blessing. And he had suffered so much. It was a blessing to her, but still at the same time, you could see this was a mama that lost her son.
Hurting.
So I just said, are you okay with the hug? And she said, oh, I can always use a hug,
I love that.
So that's, when you see somebody, have these people I've met for the first time, but
they walk in,
they need a hug.
They walk in as strangers and they leave as a friend.
Absolutely.
And
whatever,
amazing.
I just want them to know that I care. I truly, genuinely care, but also God cares. He sees their heart. He knows they're hurting, and
So great.
Yeah.
Is there any advice that you would give to a new business starting in Wagoner?
Well, first of all, I would do what you love, because if you do what you love, it's not work. But owning your own business, everyone thinks that's just a lot of fun, which it is when you enjoy what you're doing, but it also owns you.
Yeah. From networking events and ribbon cuttings to business resources, marketing support, and community programs, the Chamber is here to help businesses of every size thrive. And if you're not a member yet, we would love to speak with you. There's a place for you at the table, and we'd love to have you join our growing community of leaders, dreamers, and doers. To learn more or get involved, just reach out to the Chamber office. Now, let's get back to the show. Do you have anything that is coming up that you're excited about, or any ideas that you have for your business?
Well, I have plans and what I'd like to do on the outside of the building.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I would love to be able to paint it a fun color and put these big flowers all over the outside, but that takes money.
That does.
That's in my brain is something that I would like to do, and I think it'd be fun.
That does. That sounds
Wagoner.
So fun. I've seen so many different buildings with murals and things around them.
Yeah.
I think it would be really fun to have something like that in Wagoner and draw people in.
Maybe even put a big red rooster on the other side where the restaurant, bring some attention to downtown. It would maybe inspire some people to
come in
and
drive past and be like, what's in there?
Yeah. Hey, maybe I want a business downtown. I could do this,
Right. That's true. It would be a nice little pop
Yes.
as you drive by.
Yeah. So that's my dream right now, what I'd like to do to the shop. So.
Well, you heard it here.
Yeah.
So when it happens, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next big holiday is Mother's Day. So, you know, I want everyone to remember to
get your flowers for Mother's Day.
Yes, get your flowers for Mother's Day.
Now. Go ahead and plan now so you're not dropping the ball.
But the fun thing about moms, you know, is it wouldn't matter if you brought her a single rose or if you picked weeds out of the yard. Mom likes to know you thought about her.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
So it's so fun to deliver to moms.
Oh, right.
When their son or their daughter or someone is thinking, you know, they just light up.
How amazing that you get to see that. I'm sure, you know, you're walking in to deliver a surprise baby and you get to be the face to hand them that and say, this is for you.
I wish I could incorporate how to take a picture of your handing it off so the person can see them receive it. That would be so fun.
We need to get you some of those glasses that have the camera in them. Have you seen those?
No.
They have a little, so they're regular glasses and they have a camera. And so it picks up, you know, the receiving end. So you would see their face or their reaction to getting what they are. And so
it is fun. But we have had a few people like, I don't want those.
Oh no, I would never think of that. They're like, that's not
like a bad breakup or whatever, you know.
Oh,
so we're like,
what do you do? Do you take them back?
We've left a few on the porch. Like, you donate them, do what you want to, you know.
We'll leave that up to you.
One guy said, no, take them, and we're like, we're gonna get shot, you know, because she was
not having it.
But
oh my goodness,
you know, you get in the middle of some things that you weren't quite prepared for.
The good and the bad.
Yes,
the good and the bad. Ooh,
yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to share, just that you would want people to know?
I just want people to know that it's the Lord's business. We dedicated it to Him when we bought it. So it's just very important that I try to represent Him through my flower shop. So my prayer every morning is for the Lord, may I bring glory and honor to Him in the things I do and say. And then if it's my time to be working and creating, I pray that God works through my hands, you know, that He's pleased with it. The person that orders pleased with it, and the person that receives it is pleased with it. So, because, you know, when you're representing Him, it's important that you do it right, and I don't just throwing something together, you know. Just
so true.
Yeah.
So good. And then I always like to wrap up with some fun questions. What is your favorite flower? Do you have a favorite flower?
Oh, there's so many.
Yeah, I'm sure you have to have a favorite flower being a florist.
There's garden roses, there's tulips, there's the ranunculus. I mean, peonies are smell amazing. You know,
so pretty.
There's a flower called stock that smells so good.
What is stock?
It's more of a longer.
I think of a stalk. Like that's all I think of.
But you know, it's once you take it out of the cooler and let it start warming up, then it just gets so fragrant. I love lilies, but they're so delicate and so you just barely bump them and they bruise. You know, so you know, holiday time when you're hiring all these different people to deliver, like, don't bump the lilies.
Oh no.
But
more things that you wouldn't know unless you were a florist. What's a fun fact about you, Regina, outside of?
Probably maybe something some people don't know is I have 14 grandchildren, Dwayne and I, together with our blended family, and I have one great granddaughter. So,
and what did you say that they called you?
Graham.
Yes. Graham. And great Graham.
Yes.
Are you great Graham?
Well, she just calls me Graham.
That's so awesome. Well, congratulations. 14. Oh my goodness. Are they, I'm sure they're with you at different times. Are they with you at once ever? You have them all in the same place ever at once?
At Christmas, you know, that's mainly our biggest time that we're all together. But, you know, their ages range from like 22 to 1, you know, so there's a big range. You know, the elder ones have kind of outgrown Graham. My eldest granddaughter is getting married in June.
Oh, wow.
But, you know, everybody's so busy. Life just takes us all different directions.
Right. But 14.
That's one of the downfalls of owning your own business is, you know, the time spent there, you miss a lot of trying to figure out how not to miss so many soccer games and all of this, you know, because Saturdays I'm at the shop, but
being able to break away.
We're playing soccer, you know, so I'm trying to figure out how do I,
Right.
because I can't get those moments back.
Mm-hmm.
So
I hope you can
I
figure
know,
that
I'm
out.
trying to figure that out right now.
Is there any way that the Wagoner community can support you right now?
Just remember, we try to bring in different things. Just don't forget us during the summer months, because those are the hardest.
Mhm. Don't forget.
And don't forget, we have a bistro inside. Come eat some
Yes.
lunch and shop
Lunch
with
and
us.
shop.
Yeah.
Perfect combination. Another fun question. If your shop had a theme song, what would it be?
Probably the goodness of God.
Mm.
He's been so good to us.
I love that. That's wonderful. Thank you again for joining us today and for saying yes to coming on. I know it can be a little nerve-wracking at first, but I just hope that our listeners hear your story and hear your business and will be incentivized not just to come in and shop, but to appreciate our local business and heart behind your business, because I think that that's just something that we wanted to capture. And to our listeners, thank you so much for joining us, and follow us on Facebook for our next episode of the Chamber Exchange podcast. We're really excited about the ideas and the stories that we're getting to share, and we'll call that a wrap up.
Thank you. Feel very honored to be the first.
If you haven't stopped by Wagoner Flowers and Gifts, let this be your sign. They're your hometown spot for fresh arrangements, unique gifts, and beautiful custom pieces for any occasion. And while you're there, don't forget to stop by the Red Rooster Bistro inside for a great lunch, coffee, or a sweet treat. 2 local favorites under one roof. It's cozy, it's local, and it's one of those places that just feels good to be in. Next time you need flowers, a thoughtful gift, or a great lunch, head over to Wagoner Flowers and Gifts and the Red Rooster Bistro. They're creating something special right here in our community. Thanks for tuning in to the Chamber Exchange podcast. We appreciate every single listener who helps us celebrate Wagoner and the people who make it great. If you've got a story, a business, or a passion you want to share, let us know. We're always looking for our next guest. Until then, we'll see you on our next episode.